guess to start, just tell me a little bit about like how you started playing golf, like what interested you in it, and all of that.
Yeah, so I started off when I was really young, maybe 2 or 3 years old. I got some plastic clubs from my uncle, so that was really cool. I just would go whack it around the house, whack it around the backyard. So I guess that would be probably how I started. Maybe developed some hand-eye coordination when I was young or something like that. And then as I got older, I would always go to the driving range with my dad on like the weekend or something, because he was a pretty big golfer. So I would just do that and just kind of have fun with it. And then once I hit like 13 or 14, I started playing competitively. So actually a little younger than that, like maybe like 12 or 13, I started playing competitively. So I actually gave up going into high school. I gave up every other sport. So I played basketball, football, and baseball until then, and then gave up everything else for golf going into high school and just completely focused on that. And then I was able to do pretty well competitively since then, and ended up here at Carolina.
At what point did you decide that you wanted to try to play like Division I in college?
I think that
recruiting process worked.
Yeah, I think that I knew that I had a pretty good aptitude for it from early on. I had some success when I was young, so that was kind of like a good barometer of where I was at. And then I don't know. I actually ended up I visited here for the first time freshman year of high school, and then sophomore year of high school I ended up committing here. So I've known that I was going to go to UNC for a long time. So yeah, kind of maybe end of middle school I'd say was when I knew I wanted to play Division I golf, and then freshman sophomore year is when I kind of found out I had that opportunity.
And so then coming here, like from the West Coast and everything, like how has the transition been? Like the program, the teammates, everything like that.
I think it's honestly I love the transition. I think that it's very different coming from California. Everything, the people are different, the climate's different, the school and the college town is different, which is honestly why I came here, because I wanted to experience something new and experience a college town, which is something that you don't really get in California. So that was a big reason why I came here. And then my teammates are awesome. I mean, they're from all over too. So my roommate last year was from the Philippines. My other roommate this year is from New Jersey. So we're really scattered all over the country. So it's not just really people from North Carolina, which is nice. But I've really loved the transition out here, and just enjoying North Carolina, the school and the golf and everything.
So what's like traveling for matches like? How do you balance everything?
Yeah, I mean it can be hard sometimes, especially for instance the beginning of this year we got on campus, started our first week of class, and the first weekend we had a kind of a team trip, so we were gone where we got to have a really fun trip and with some of our donors out to Roaring Gap, and then the next weekend was Labor Day weekend. We had our first tournament, so only 9 guys traveled so for that tournament, so we flew all the way up to like Syracuse area, and fortunately we didn't have to miss any school because it was over a holiday, so that was really nice. But then after that we got back, and immediately the next weekend we were at Duke, so had to miss Friday of school for the practice round. And then we got back from that, and then immediately 2 or 3 days later on Wednesday we left for Chicago and missed 3 days of school. So I think that it's just really about staying on top of your time management was the biggest thing that I learned, especially from last year to this year. Kind of talking to your professors and making sure that you're staying on top of your studies, because that just kind of frees you up to be able to be relaxed and perform when you're out there and just focus on what you need to do.
What do you think's been like the toughest part about being on the team?
I think it probably is honestly just the time management balance. I think that there's a lot of times when you have to make some sacrifices that honestly kind of suck, but I mean, you know why you're doing them, so it's not too much of a problem. But yeah, I'd say the time management, missing class can get tough, especially when you kind of feel like you're falling behind and then you're leaving for another trip in the next week. So I think we ended up missing maybe like 7 or 8 days of class this semester. So those end up adding up, and it can be kind of tough, but it's good.
So what does like a normal practice week look like for you guys?
So normally we will, kind of depends on the week. So if we just came back from a tournament, we'll normally have Monday off, which is always a nice day. And then Tuesday we'll go to class in the morning. So you have to have class between 8 a.m. and you have to be out at 12:30. And then practice normally start at around 1:30. So we'll either have practice where we're just here at our facility, chipping and putting and hitting balls and just getting better and practicing. And so we'll have that practice for 2 or 3 hours, and then we'll go to workouts at 5 o'clock right after. Or sometimes on other days we'll go out on the course where that'll take maybe 3 or 4 hours. That's how long a round of golf takes, and we'll go play a round of golf. Sometimes it's qualifying, figuring out who's going to travel, and sometimes it's just to kind of get better and have a little bit of inter-squad competition and stuff like that.
So what's the relationship like with like among the team, like with you and the other guys?
Yeah, we're all really close, which is nice. I mean, I'm living with a couple of the guys right now, and I'm living with even more of them next year. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, we're all really close. We see each other every single day. So at a certain point, you have to be close, right? But I think that we have a really good relationship. Everyone gets along. We're all very competitive, so sometimes tempers can flare from time to time. But it's always in good fun.
What would you say is like your biggest focus, like at least like this year? What have you been working on and trying to improve in your?
Yeah, I mean, I think that last year it was I had a good year, but I think I struggled with consistency, and I think that some of that came from falling behind in school and not being able to practice as much as I would have wanted to, or not putting in the work in the gym or eating right just to like get yourself feeling well for when you're getting out there to compete. So I think that's the biggest thing I worked on. And then in terms of golf, I knew that I always have hit the ball pretty well in my life, and just chipping and putting. So the short game was kind of what I needed to work on, and that was the biggest thing I worked on over the summer especially, and then kind of going into the beginning of this year, and it's worked out because it's actually improved a lot, so it's been really good.
Awesome. Are there any like interesting or funny traditions that you guys have like before a match or anything like that? Or just,
oh man, I don't know if we have anything too funny.
Well,
after every team win, we have a grill right here. So after every team win, the next weekend our coaches will have a big barbecue for us, and they'll cook us steaks or burgers, and it's always a good time. And they each have 2 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls. So it's always really, really nice. Everyone comes out, we just kind of hang out, go play some sports on the range some football and basketball and baseball and whatever their kids want to play out on the range, and just have a good time. But other than that, I don't know if we have any really crazy traditions. We have, a lot of funny stories of people leaving IDs in hotel rooms and almost not being able to get on planes and things like that. But those are just college kids being college kids.
What are you looking forward to this year, and then like as you become an upperclassman on the team?
Yeah, I think that it's a good transition, just because I think we have a really strong team this year. I mean, we have a couple freshmen that came in that are really, really good, and we only had one senior that was in the starting lineup that left. So, and Austin Greaser, who's our freshman, is really filling his role well so far. So our team is really good this year. So that's really exciting. I think we're ranked like 11th in the country to start the year. So just looking to build on that until the national championship in May, and keep working hard, and hopefully be able to win in May.
So what do you do during the summers when you're home? Like, what's your...
Yeah, I don't make it home that often, unfortunately. I spend a lot of time actually here at our facility training over the summer, and I went home for a couple weeks here and there, and then I would just spend time with family and just practice at home. And then a lot of times in the summer I'm traveling for individual tournaments. So I was down in Texas for a week. I was in Pennsylvania for a week. I was in Michigan for a week, just traveling to different tournaments that are kind of on the amateur golf circuit. So just me and a couple of my other teammates I traveled with, but we weren't competing for UNC, just kind of competing for ourselves, which is kind of the path for the summers for golfers.
So, like, going off of that with your family, like, obviously you don't get to see them much, like, how do they feel about everything? I'm sure they're so proud of you, and what's that like?
Yeah, no, it's nice. I mean, they're obviously very proud of me. I talk to them, try to talk to them as much as I can, because I don't get to see them as much as I would like. But they come to a lot of our tournaments, especially towards the end of the year for the ACCs and at the national championship. They come out and they fly out here for our home tournament and come visit. So I get to see them a decent amount, and then for obviously Christmas and Thanksgiving. So it's nice. I mean, I wish I could see them more, but it's a good balance. We work it out, and yeah, no, it's awesome. They're really supportive. They've been supportive since I was really young, so they're always in my corner, and they always want me to succeed, even if my mom misses a little more time than me. So yeah, it's awesome.
Do they ever make it out here?
Yeah. They come every year for the home tournament, and they were at Duke a couple weeks ago. They flew out and surprised me, which is really, really neat. So I got to see them there, and they got to watch me play. And my cousin actually drove down from DC, so I got to see him as well. So it was really, really nice.
I know that you still have a few years, but what do you see yourself doing after college?
Yeah, no, I definitely want to play professionally after college. So I'm just kind of building towards that is the best way I could describe it right now. Just kind of keep getting better, and climbing in the amateur ranks, and just kind of setting up a path for when I want to turn professional. So kind of not sure what the exact path is once I get there. It'll kind of depend on how I do for the next couple of years, for what path I want to go down. But yeah, I think the plan for the last couple of years, and especially even now, is definitely to play professionally.
If there was one thing that you had to pick as like the highlight of being on the team, or like your favorite part, or a memory that you have, like what would it be?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of really good moments. I would say NCAA regionals last year was probably my favorite memory. So NCAA regionals is like, it's kind of like a gauntlet. There's 13 teams that are all really, really, really good, and you have to make it through regionals. You have to be in the top 5. So I think we were in 5th, right on the bubble, going to the final round, and everyone ended up playing really well. I think we shot like 13 or 14 under par as a team, and I had my best round of the year. Actually, I shot 63, and so yeah, it felt really good to help the team and to move on. It was kind of a big relief, and it felt like kind of the culmination of the entire year and how hard we'd worked. So that was definitely the best memory of golf at Carolina so far.
And then what's been like the biggest challenge? I mean, you said what the biggest challenge was, but I mean, is there anything that you feel like you don't really get as much of an opportunity to do, like being on the team, like having that like take up so much time?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's things like clubs and stuff that I guess would be fun, and there's some classes even that we can't really take because they're offered at times that don't really work for us. So I mean, there's some of that you miss out on, and then we're traveling. We miss a decent amount of basketball games and football games, which is always a bummer. But I mean, other than that, I kind of knew what I was getting into when I came here and what my goals were when I came here. So I don't really mind it too much.
So have you become close with any other teams or athletes and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's actually funny. Some of my best friends that are their athletes are the basketball guys, and they actually come out here a lot, and they love golf. So yeah, Shay and Andrew play tech. They'll be out here all the time. Our coaches know them, and they'll come out. Coach Williams comes and hits balls here all the time, especially after a loss, because he's got to cool down a little bit. So yeah, no, they're some of my best friends, and they come out here and they love golf. And every once in a while, I'll go shoot around with them and make a fool of myself, and it's a good time. And then yeah, no, I have a lot of friends on other teams. So I know some baseball guys and tennis guys, and you just we're all around each other, especially in kind of our academic and our gym that we all work out in. So we cross paths a lot and hang out a little bit after, and everyone's so busy that we're kind of on the same schedule, so it ends up working out. So yeah, it's nice to be around other athletes. It's my favorite part about Carolina, probably just the level of athletics all across the board. I mean, there's so many good teams, and we have national championships in field hockey, we have national championships in soccer, and everywhere. So there's just so many talented athletes that you get to be around here.
What professional golfer would you say like inspires you most, or like do you respect like his playing style?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the one is Tiger Woods, right? But so I got to watch him play a few times growing up, which was really cool. I got to meet him a few times at some tournaments that I played in when I was a junior, which was honestly some of the coolest experiences that I've had. In terms of someone whose game I really like, I'd say probably Rory McIlroy. He's just really incredible. He was Player of the Year this year on the PGA Tour, and he's a really, really nice guy. I got to meet him too last year, which was really fortunate. And he's a really good person, very down to earth, and he's awesome on and off the golf course, and he's really cool.
Yeah, I think that's enough. I'm trying to think if there's
Perfect.
any other questions. Anything you think would be good to
I think we covered a lot, honestly.
covered a lot. I'm trying to think if there's just like anything else.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you want more like the things about the team, or like personal things, or
Maybe like personal things.
okay, like past experiences in golf? Like
yeah.
okay, I got
High
one.
school.
Okay, yeah, because I got to go to Japan for the U.S. national team at the end of high school. So for the World Cup of Golf, the Junior World Cup of Golf. So I can talk about that for a little bit if you want.
Perfect.
Okay. So yeah.
Tell me about your experience.
I would love to. So senior year, I got to be I got selected to the U.S. national team for the Junior World Cup of Golf, which was in just outside Tokyo. So it was 4 boys and 4 girls from the United States, and there were I think 18 other countries there too. And we got to go fly over to Asia, which was really neat, and go to Japan, which was a really, really cool experience. And they had we got to go into a school, and they had like all the kids were flying our country's flags, and we got to go see kind of the Japanese culture for the first couple of days. and then we got to go into the tournament, which was really cool experience because I remember the first round I played with a kid from Morocco because they were the team they qualified at the African region, and it was just so interesting hearing like their stories, not only in golf but just in how they live, and it was really cool getting to meet all the other teams from all the other countries. Got to hang out with some guys from South Africa and Italy. Then we all really got along, and it was a fun time. And I still get to keep in touch with them. And a lot of them are in America for golf. They play in college now, so it's pretty neat.
Wow. Were there any other guys like in your grade in high school or people you're close with that went on to play in college?
So yeah, there's one kid from my high school is actually playing at the Naval Academy now. So he was a really good friend of mine. He moved into our school my sophomore year of high school, and he moved from Kansas City, and then he was awesome. He was a really good friend of mine, and we played on the high school team together, and now he's playing at the Naval Academy, and I'm down here, so yeah.
I feel like, I guess, just like the one last question, which is kind of obvious, is like what drew you to UNC, like instead of other schools? Like what kind of made your decision for you?
I think it was just the balance of everything, which was what I really liked. It's obviously very strong academically. It's a really good academic school, and then the entire athletic department is really incredible, and the golf program is really good. So in terms of I got to meet some of my future teammates when I came and visited here, and obviously the coaches were a big part of that too. I'm really close with them. We all get along. So I think that was probably the biggest thing that drew me, and just kind of moving to a new experience. Like I said earlier, going to a college town, getting to come to Chapel Hill and getting the full college experience was very important to me.
Okay,
Perfect.